The Antics aren't different. They're not worse. I don't think you even hit the end of your rope. They're just not paired with winning anymore. Like you hear about resume games, that was the opposite. That was one of the worst, and I know there have been a number.
Right.
But that was one of the worst top to bottom sort of on-court displays by Draymond Green that I've seen in a long time. Because it's not even just the antics. Like his basketball was terrible. Anyway, I hear Steph, when you ask him, hey, Steph, let's talk big picture. He goes, I don't want to. We're trying to win a road game. The trade deadline is in 2 weeks. That's what I heard him say. Yeah. That doesn't sound like somebody who, at least, and again, this is just a public statement, but that doesn't sound to me like somebody who is calling Aisha and going, do you want to live here anymore? That doesn't sound, but that's where I hear a lot of people's minds going. Right. I think we're putting thoughts in Steph's head.
I agree. And what I hear him say in that is, I'm mad because we lost. We lost again. And, it was fun to see Clay, but Dallas is not very good and Dallas beat us. And by the way, they don't win on the road. The Warriors are 8-14 on the road. That is awful. Like Memphis is 8-11. They're not even a play-in team. And then you get all the way down to like Dallas and Utah and Sacramento and New Orleans. These are bad teams. So you go to Dallas and you play a team that's not very good. They're the 12 seed right now. And that game was very, very winnable, even without Jimmy Butler. And yet you found a way to muck it up down the stretch. Yeah. And you lost a game that is more winnable than the next two. That's for sure.
The fourth quarters on the road have been disastrous.
Yep.
They've had a lot of opportunities, sometimes more than an opportunity, like, a huge lead with 3 minutes to go or whatever. But their finishing on the road has been horrible because not only did you have a chance, but you had Draymond Green do just another outburst-filled, poorly timed series of antics that totally stopped the game, ripped momentum away from the Warriors. Like you hear about resume games, that was the opposite. That was one of the worst, and I know there have been a number.
Right.
But that was one of the worst top to bottom sort of on-court displays by Draymond Green that I've seen in a long time. Because it's not even just the antics. Like his basketball was terrible.
Right, and that was my point earlier. Like the antics used to be, okay, I mean, that's just Draymond, and it's a flagrant, it's a tech, whatever it is, but he still went out there and defended great and played great, and the Warriors won, and so it's okay. We can kind of excuse that, but we're now at the point where these things happen, and they happen in a spot where you can't have it happen, and then you lose the game.
This is any industry. Have you ever known a host in our industry who puts up huge ratings, but then when the microphones go off, awful human being?
Yep.
Why would a media outlet stick with those people?
Because they produce.
There you go.
Like the sales guy at your local, whatever, mom and pop shop, if they're killing it with the numbers, it's like, oh my God, I can't stand this guy, but number one again in sales.
That's what Draymond has always been.
Until?
Now. But that's why, I know. I'm there. You're there. So many people are just like, it's kind of like Steve. How many years ago was it when we were able to read Steve's lips? And he's like, I'm so bleeping sick of Draymond. Wasn't that that was like
5 years ago, maybe more, yeah.
Probably 7 years ago. He was already so bleeping sick of Draymond. And now all the fans are there. You're so bleeping sick of Draymond. But you know why you're sick of him. The antics aren't different. They're not worse. I don't think you even hit the end of your rope. They're just not paired with winning anymore. Now we're getting rebounds and we're doing over-the-head, two-handed, full-court heave passes to Quentin Post, who's double covered. What went through your brain? What was that?
Looking for a freebie.
So that's why his antics are hitting different, I think.
Right, and also you're not winning. And as he's getting older, it feels more like he's getting more frustrated by the things that he can't do anymore. And I get that because I'm older than you and you're older than him. And, you get to a spot where there are things you just can't do anymore. And if you think about it, it's frustrating. Like, why can't I do X, Y, and Z anymore? It's because you're older and I'm not a pro athlete like him. And he's trying to do the things like that where, I'm going to go ahead and throw this two-handed pass that I used to be able to do. And now I can't.
Yeah. And there's not you don't have a team around you that's covering that stuff up. if that had been Kevin Durant, other than Quentin Post, he probably would have found a way to come down with it and lay it in. But that's Quentin Post. What the hell are you thinking?
Well, I'm watching it right now.
What went through his brain to think that that was the thing to do in that moment?
He's thinking about getting a freebie, and an easy one. And when you get older, you start thinking about like shortcuts, and you try to do things that, maybe you probably shouldn't do. And this is what I see from Draymond a lot, where, you just don't want to have to put in the work to get a bucket. So you get a steal here, and the ball comes to you, and I'm watching it right now, and Quentin Post he's going streaking down the middle of the floor. Quentin Post, by the way.
Not open.
Well, even if he is open.
But not open.
So, yeah, he's kind of open.
He is.
But if he is open, and let's just say that he was throwing that pass to, I don't know, Kuminga.
Sure.
Kuminga goes up and probably rescues it, but you're throwing it to Quentin Post. And no disrespect to Quentin, but if it's a 50-50 ball, he's not the most equipped to go up there and save Draymond's bacon.
Here's Shams on ESPN as we approach the trade deadline and Giannis.
This is now reaching different levels. Maybe in the offseason, you have to really trust your sourcing and trust you're getting it from people and things like that. But this is now happening in real time with the Bucks. Like there are games being played. There are pre-games, there are post-games, there are in-game environments that are going on right now that, maybe it is a lot more sheltered in the offseason, right? Where it is very much between player and agent and team. But as the season continues to go on, there's frustration that happens, there's conversations that take place. And the reality is when you have a star player Giannis is the one that said on MLK Day, he was asked, are you going to do you have confidence you're going to be with the Bucks for the rest of the season? His response was, I don't know. I take it day by day.
Okay, so there's that. And everybody's been pounding us over the head with the idea. I saw it from Bobby Marks again today, too. Like, trade deadline stuff happens the last week.
Yep.
So everything you're hearing up to now, grain of salt. And what immediately pops to mind is, well, for there to be a demand, there needs to be demand. That came over.
I think there's demand for Giannis.
Well, yeah. I think there's demand for Kuminga. Who might have played his last game with the Golden State Warriors, by the way.
I mean, depending on how bad the injury is, I don't know if you've seen or if there's an actual word, because it was the ankle and the knee.
Yeah, and he said the knee was bothering him more than the ankle. He looked impeccable while he was out there yesterday.
Sure did, yeah.
He looked impeccable.
Aggressive and assertive and getting to the foul line and
didn't miss.
Right.
He did not miss.
He was spectacular.
Yeah, he was fantastic.
Unfortunately, he only played 9 minutes, and so, there's that. But in those 9 minutes, yeah, he looked bouncy and vibrant and all the other things. So I don't know if that means the Warriors are thinking, yeah, we got to keep this guy, or is it just more of a case where now that they have to deal him?